Are you a part of the little teeny committee with the type of itty bitties that need help? Cute smile but a face like Michael Phelps? Well, I'm here to bring you a new product by Get Your Life Right Industries. This product is so great, you'll have saddlebags in no time. It'll turn your just nipple ass and give you more titties than ass. Get your tube and titillation today. And you can get the moves, songs, or my favorite, the wham danglers of your dreams. For just 3 payments of $49.99. You can get a bottle of titillation a day and get the tits and the milks of your dreams. You're on now.
Hello, I'm Nyana Lee, and this is the Gag-Order. And tonight's show is dedicated to all that have been affected in the recent shooting in Philadelphia. Eight teenagers were shot, and one was critically injured.
It's Monday night. We begin with breaking news here tonight. Chopper 6 over the scene now of a deadly shooting that unfolded this afternoon on board a SEPTA bus. It happened just before 4 o'clock today. That bus coming to a stop right there at 16th and Limekiln and Ogons. Just minutes ago, Philadelphia police gave us an update revealing that a 17-year-old is dead, the apparent target in this, and 4 other people were shot. 2 more teens and 2 women, 50 and 70 years old. This a live look at that scene right now. Those 2 women were sitting on the bus at the time. Action News reporter Katie Cacho live there where it all ended this afternoon. Katie, police say video shows 2 gunmen here.
That's exactly right, Brian. And where I'm standing is where police say around 15 to 20 people were waiting for that SEPTA bus when those shots were fired. I'm going to step out of the shot here so you can see what's behind me. As you can see, police have marked off multiple spots where they did find multiple shell casings. Now, there are multiple scenes to this shooting, and I do want to show you what another scene looks like here on the 6000 block of Limekiln Pike. You can see that SEPTA bus, and it has multiple bullet shots through those windows. Now, there are multiple victims here, and I do want to show you a list of all of the victims. Police say a 17-year-old was killed. A 17-year-old suffered a graze wound to the shoulder. A 50-year-old was on the SEPTA bus. She was shot in the arm. A 70-year-old woman was on the bus. She was shot in the head. Police say both of those women were bystanders. Police also say a 15-year-old suffered a graze wound to the back. Now, everyone is over at Einstein Medical Center recovering at this time. And I do want you to take a listen to what the police commissioner just had to say moments ago. I want you to listen to this from Police Commissioner Kevin Bethel.
We're never fortunate when we lose a child, in particular a 17-year-old. But if you look around here, you know, how busy this intersection is, a daycare across the street, and then multiple people on the bus, and multiple rounds being fired, you know, it could have been much worse.
Okay, now.
The violence in our youth is very dangerous in this current time with machine arms and knives and such access to items as such, I feel as, and they have a very large impression as well as the gang violence in those types of areas on our communities and our children, I feel.
That's right. That's right. How you guys doing tonight?
Hello, hello.
Good, hello.
My name is Ali Major. My co-host Jinx and Queen. How you guys doing tonight?
We
And
all
then my
right.
special guest, Nyana Lee. Thank you for introducing the show. Does anybody have any questions for Nyana? Did she say anything that sparked any kind of question in your mind?
I mean, I don't know whether or not this is something that you've experienced in your school or in your area, but I know that it's definitely getting worse all around the U.S. You seeing kids younger and younger getting into the streets and getting into violence at such young ages. And I remember things being similar to that when I was younger, but it seems like it's much more prevalent now, and it's much more. It seems like it's become the norm now. Nobody wants to just fight it out or, talk it out. Everybody wants to just physically harm people. And I mean, how has that affected your academic life and your social life? Is that something you have experienced recently or even, over your years in junior high?
I wouldn't say in junior high. I would say coming from a similar area that dealt with gun violence and often shootings, it was just very difficult. And I'm not saying like I had an experience where I was shot at, but coming from the place I used to live in was very difficult. And from a young age, me and my sister knew like when you start to hear gunshots outside, go inside. Our windows used to be like all shut up all the time. That used to be very dangerous. And I just feel like I don't want other people to have other experiences going through that, especially at my age, being
Yeah.
shot at or shooting people for that matter.
That's right. That's right. People your age should not be doing that, and it really takes a toll on your mind. And I can understand my co-host's question to you. She asked, does it affect your academics? I believe it does affect your academics because then you have to deal with that while you're in class, fights and people threatening to do harm to others inside the school. I've heard a lot of stories about that. Kids nowadays are so quick to bring up guns or knives or violence like that when their tempers get raged. And my co-host is correct. They don't want to fight no more. They don't want to fight no more. They don't want the embarrassment of the
Yeah, man.
after effects of the fight. And that's the problem. Nobody wants to have humility these days. Nobody wants to go through humility. Now, I have a question for you. What do you think about humility today? If you see a guy or you see a boy and he is being bullied or something like that, but do you expect him to stand up for himself? Something happened. Oh no, what happened? Can anybody hear me?
I
Yeah.
think
All right, so some reason my screen
You just dropped one.
is absolutely frozen. I was trying to let Carlos in, and for some reason, this is all frozen. I don't know what just happened. Can you guys see me moving?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So obviously, we're still recording, but something inside my system. Hold on one second, ladies. Hold on one second. Something is going on here inside my system. Huh. That's funny. Okay, well, anyways, let's keep this going since you guys can see me. Hopefully the recording is still going, but I have no way of seeing or controlling my controls anymore. Where's my mouse
Ooh.
at? This is funny.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is
we're gonna rock it out
absolutely funny.
regardless.
Hold on one second. I might have to. All right. Anyways, I was talking about humility. If you can still, let me call everybody back in. Let me get everybody back
Cruising
inside my
elevated.
studio, if I can.
Good evening. It's Monday
Once
night. We begin
again,
with breaking
we're
news here tonight. Chopper 6 over the scene now of a deadly shooting that unfolded this afternoon on board a SEPTA bus. It happened just before 4 o'clock today. That bus coming to a stop right there at 16th and Limekiln in Ogontz. Just minutes ago, Philadelphia police gave us an update revealing that a 17-year-old is dead, the apparent target in this, and 4 other people were shot. 2 more teens and 2 women, 50 and 7 years old. This a live look at that scene right now. Those 2 women were sitting on the bus at the time. Action News reporter Katie Cacho live there where it all ended this afternoon. Katie, police say video shows 2 gunmen here.
That's exactly right, Brian. And where I'm standing is where police say around 15 to 20 people were waiting for that SEPTA bus when those shots were fired. I'm going to step out of the shot here so you can see what's behind me. As you can see, police have marked off multiple spots where they did find multiple shell casings. Now, there are multiple scenes to this shooting, and I do want to show you what another scene looks like here on the 6000 block of Limekiln Pike. You can see that SEPTA bus, and it has multiple bullet shots through those windows. Now, there are multiple victims here, and I do want to show you a list of all of the victims. Police say a 17-year-old was killed, a 17-year-old suffered a graze wound to the shoulder, a 50-year-old one is over at Einstein Medical Center recovering at this time. And I do want you to take a listen to what the police commissioner just had to say.
I'm coming.
I want you to listen to this from
I'm coming. My whole system crashed. You guys got to excuse me. Everything crashed.
When we lose a child,
all right.
They're 17-year-old. But if you look around
so let's see. Carlos is not here.
Daycare across the street. And then multiple people on the bus.
There he is, right there.
Rounds
Let me
being
get
fired.
Carlos in here.
You know, it could have been much worse.
Get him in here. All right, Carlos. I just had a system crash.
You can see the daycare that the police commissioner was referencing. This is an hour.
We're still live.
Parents
I'm still
are
live. I
coming
just
to
gotta
pick
continue.
up their kids.
I just gotta continue.
As you heard from the police commissioner.
Anyways,
now at this time, no arrests have been made, no weapons have been recovered.
All right, so now everybody's in. Excuse me, my whole system crashed. Everything just crashed.
Together. And that's the very latest
it's
of what
crazy
happened
in here right
live in
now.
Ogon,
But
Steve
anyways,
Castro, Channel 6 Action News.
Can you play back on the share screen?
Huh? Excuse me?
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, I got it. I got everything. It's back on. My whole system's back on. It just took me a second to get everything back on. You got to excuse me and pardon me. All you guys have to pardon me for the interruption. Like I said, I can't control this. But Carlos, can you hear me? All right. I can't hear you though. You got your mic mute? All right. That's a bet. I would like to finish up with my question for you about humility. How do you feel about humility and people taking on humility?
Okay, so I would say if someone was getting bullied and they felt that it was getting so bad to the point where no adult could stop it, I feel like they probably would fight. There's a high chance I feel like they would fight.
Okay.
They would fight, definitely, but I don't think that they would go so far into shooting unless the bullying was extreme.
See, that's I get that. I get what you're saying, and it shouldn't go that far. But about the humility part, do you understand when I use the word humility?
Not really.
Okay, well, I'm going to explain. Being humble or somebody accepting humility is somebody who accepts the ridicule and does not strike back. You know what I mean? It's somebody who turns the other cheek, or somebody who appears to be weak, but they are actually the stronger person because they chose not to let that person get to them to a point where it turned violent.
I feel like yes, there are some instances of that.
Okay.
Probably going
So
on
you
at
do
my
see
time.
instances of that right there.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that's a good thing, or do you think that is a bad thing to do?
Bad thing. Very bad thing.
Why is it a bad thing to do?
Because if they have access to the wrong tools, I feel like they would use it to hurt someone.
Okay.
Because of how they've been being treated.
Carlos, you missed our guest, but she introduced our show and came in, and I brought in the Pennsylvania shooting, and then she gave her insights on the Pennsylvania shooting, and then I asked if any one of us had a question for her regarding youth and violence. I'm going to give you a chance, brother, and ask you, would you like to ask this young lady a question before I let her go to bed?
No, let her keep going.
Okay.
Come back to me. Okay,
Okay, well, she's about to. I'm about to let her go to sleep because she has school tomorrow, brother. She only came on for a second, so and
Nah,
and I gave everybody a chance to ask her a question. So now I was giving you. Do you have a question for her?
nah.
Okay then. Nye, I would like to say good night to you, baby girl. Thank you. You're beautiful as always, and go to school, get good grades, and yes, I want you to do wonderful.
Thank
All right. Have a good night.
Good night.
Does it feel like life hit you hard below the belt? Does it seem like your partner has the constant yelping of aggression?
My name's David. Lately, my girl has been such a bitch. She calls me TJ and laughs because I have a Bieber. It just hurts so much because I was diagnosed with squealer syndrome. I have a smeenus.
Scientifically, medical science has advanced dramatically in areas dealing with the parnus, and I have dedicated my career to this area of pecoritis to finalize and cure the effects of Dinklefoot.
Ali Mason here to bring you a new product by Get Your Life Right Industries. The same product making it brought you pizzazz, titillation, and ass so clean brings Stendo. That's right. If you're tired of having a little Nicky, then call and get rid of your lap pinky today. For just 3 payments of $48.60, you can turn your little dick into a bigger prick. You'll be hitting the walls in no time. So get rid of that midget wicket and get the confidence you deserve with Stendo.
How you guys doing tonight? All right, so let's get on to this topic about youth and violence. I brought us here, and we're gonna really talk about the issues that we may see, we may think we don't see, or the issues that we think we'll never find out about because children are in their own world of today. I stand on the firm, concrete belief that everything is in hindsight, and if you watch close enough, you can see everything before it actually happens. You can see when a child turns, and you can see when they start progressing in a different direction from where they were before. Does anybody disagree with that statement that I just made?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I
Well,
do.
let's get. Okay, that's good.
I
I'm
do.
glad. I'm glad. I just asked the question just to get a roundabout. So let's get deeper into this. I'll pull up the first screen about youth and violence. If you guys see, once again, I have on the side of the screen, I have some information for us. Children who are exposed to violence on a regular basis often experience many of the same symptoms and lasting effects as children who are victims of violence themselves, including post-traumatic stress disorder. These children can feel emotional and physical aftershocks for months, even years after it happens. I believe that this right here is the truth. I am a child that comes from a violent scene. Not saying my mother and none of that. I'm not. See, when I talk about my past history, I speak about what I put myself into. And from a young age, I was off the porch. I left the porch at about 11 years old. I was running away, doing all types of shit that no 11-year-old should ever do. All right. So now that I got that squared, I think that affects the child and then lessens the effects of seeing violence, therefore doing violence.
But see, like I myself, I witnessed a lot of violence, firsthand and secondhand growing up, and some of my first charges was for fighting,
Okay.
and it's crazy because my oldest never seen the violence, and she 18 years old getting locked up for stabbing somebody. Like, so I mean, I can see it go both ways. Like, I understand that in certain predicaments, history is likely to repeat itself, and I've seen that time and time again. But I've also seen people break that cycle, or people who've never seen that cycle still become violent beings.
Yeah, I've seen that too. I've seen people like me who it's so sad that I seen uh, uh, family violence, means though father beating mother. All right, so it's so sad that I've seen that throughout my life, and I've had that traumatic thing happen in my life. But lo and behold, I wouldn't do that a day in my life. So therefore, that is a true structure from somebody who feels differently about if you see it, like the violence that you've seen. But I feel like it's on a different level because I did not get the woman beaten. I'm not a part of the woman tribe, the Indian tribe, the Slapaho tribe. But I may have done violence in other areas. It may have came easier for me in other areas. When you watch the movie Scarface at the end before Sosa and him had a problem. Scarface had a problem with killing women and children. Like seriously, I got a problem with killing the innocents too, and it's a big problem. I won't do anything to somebody who's completely innocent. You know what I mean? I never have, never will. So I can understand what you say on that, but Jinx, I don't want to talk about the one or two instances that lives turn around. Most people in my circumstance don't do what I do. They will be a part of that tribe, and they do it happily. So I mean, there's rarity in every situation.
I completely understand.
All right. So now that we got this apart, let's get back into the children because it's not about us as adults. This is about the children. In our conversation, we're going to base around the children. I said that you can see things that change within your child. You guys said that that's not a fact. Jinx, Queen, you guys know your children, right? You guys were there with your children and knew your children. You guys knew the personality of your children, right?
Yeah.
All right. See, I had the blessed opportunity to watch children from being a baby until they were starting to come into themselves. And I have noticed, like, and I mean day for day. I'm not talking about you're in, you're out. You know what I mean? You see them once a week, something like that. No, I'm talking about day for day. So therefore, I have seen it to where the kid starts to age and you see something different. If they are being bullied in school, you kind of can notice in actions. The kid don't really have to say nothing to me because I see something is bothering the kid. Let me know differently, Queen, Jinx. Let me know differently. You guys were there, and you guys were mothers that birthed these kids. And me, on the other hand, I'm just a person outside looking in still. And I accept it. And I accept that you guys know more than me. So I come to you guys for that knowledge so you guys can explain to me what I don't see.
I mean, for me, my kids, I had an open relationship with them. Yeah, I was hard, but they, I could sense and I could see whatever case might was going on because it was my child. It was my child.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you say something wasn't wrong, I know something was wrong. But they would also come to me and tell me as well. But they was afraid to tell me some things because they know how hot headed I was, and I wouldn't have no problem fucking somebody up when it came to my child, and that's how I was. But you know, you can't be with your kids 24/7. You know what I mean? You can let them know that if anything's going on to tell you, but still sometimes they won't. They just feel as though they can't tell you everything. And it's not nothing that you've done wrong, it's just where they're at. And they sometimes still will say everything's okay, and you still might not see anything because they know how to mask it to get around it. So you won't keep coming to them and saying, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong.
The same way you know your child also knows you. So they know, like when young girls start sneaking around with the makeup, they know to try and clean that shit up before they come home and you see it. You don't catch them slipping. That's one thing. But kids, I remember being a child, same thing.
Mhm.
kids are good at lying and hiding and manipulating their parents. They, especially the attentive ones, because those are the ones they learn how to wrap around their little finger. So by the time they get to the age where things are changing, hormones are changing, their social status is changing, they starting to feel themselves and come into their own, they find ways to get around letting you know what's really going on. And yes, you can see and sense certain changes in your child, but that doesn't always mean that you're able to get to the underlying cause. It doesn't mean you're always able to help whatever issue they got going on. Most of the time, they in their own head and they think they know it all, and we don't understand nothing. So they go above and beyond to hide it, to lie about it.
But you know, in my case with my kids, mine was I guess I put the fear of God in your ass. Because like I told them is this, you can't do nothing that I already done. I already know you because you're a part of me. And what I did, I know you're capable of doing. But what you need to know is you need to respect yourself. Because if you're out there doing any and everything, guess what? You're gonna put a label on yourself, and that's how people are gonna treat you. So I can't, like I said, I can't be with you 24/7. But at the end of the day, you can't go and think I ain't gonna know and find out what you're doing either. Because I'm gonna know. I'm gonna find out. I know you.
Hmm.
I birthed you. You a part of me. I know what I'm capable of doing. What? I tell my children and people when they meet them when they was younger, I would tell people I had night and day. I knew what one was gonna do, and I knew what the other one wasn't gonna do.
Hmm.
And they would be like, "Why you call them that?" You'll see.
Hmm.
You'll see when you be around them long enough. And that's what the girl said. She said, "Well, damn, you know, I know my children. Trust and believe.
Hmm.
I know. I know my youngest daughter has a temperament like me. I know my oldest daughter is mild and meek. You got to push. So I know my children.
Okay, so you, we all understand, and I understand what you mean by you know your children. Um, but you also know situations, and I feel like as a parent, if you see, and you're gonna see throughout the child's, through their choices of friends, you're gonna smell it. You can smell a rat.
Let me share this with you. My daughter used to hang with this girl, right?
Yep.
When they was coming up. And I saw what type of person the girl was. And guess what I told you? My children, you're not fucking hanging with her.
Okay.
Point blank, period. Because, see, and my thing is this, I'm your mother. I ain't your goddamn friend. That's the number one key right there. Too many parents want to be the friend and not be the parent. I'm going to be the parent and I'll be your friend later on. And I don't care if you don't like what I got to say. Because guess what? I'm taking care of you and you ain't taking care of me.
That's
It's
a
a
real
difference.
thin line to walk, though. I
It can be
feel as
whatever
an
thin line.
outside
In my
person.
household, it is what it is. If I'm taking care of you, then guess what? You're gonna do what the hell I say do. It
Okay.
can be thin, it can be it can be fine, it can be whatever. But I'm no I let me tell you this. With I like I said, I was 16 giving birth. So I was a child myself learning to be a parent. I knew and knew what I was doing out there in those streets. I did not want the same thing for my kids.
That's true. I
So
agree
guess
with you.
what? Yes, I'm going to, and I was hard and I was strict, but guess what? I did what I had to do. My children didn't give me any trouble. I ain't had to go to jail for them. I ain't had to do none of that. None of that. So yeah, it was.
Does force kind of like
I
push
didn't
them
force
even
them.
harder towards
I ain't forced them to
what
do
they
anything. I talked to them and I told them these words. You don't have to do what everybody else is out there doing. Just because this one is doing it don't mean you gonna do it. Your mother already did that. It ain't gonna work. I'm gonna tell you right now what the income gonna be. I didn't hide sugarcoat anything with my life.
I get
I
what you're
told them.
saying, but I also know the rebellious part of people.
But
Like if
but they
you
didn't rebel. They
like if
didn't
you
rebel. That's just it. They
okay.
didn't.
Okay.
They didn't
Well,
rebel.
that's very fortunate. I
I
was a
got a second
rebeller.
that. I got a
But the
second
thing
that
about but
because
let me tell you what. But let me tell you why. Because I also fed them spiritually as well. I put them in church. I took them to church every Sunday. I let them have God in their life on top of it, which I couldn't have control all the time. So I had to pray over top of my babies. Because at 16 years old, it's obvious I didn't finish school. So I already had people doubting me that my children was going to fall in the same footsteps. So I had to break that generation curse.
Okay. Okay. Jinx, does dictating what your child does it kind of make them rebel on your end? Do you think that it makes them rebel?
In my case and things that I've seen, I believe that the less choices you give kids, like if they feel they don't have no type of choice, they're likely to rebel.
That's what I say. I say that too. Carlos, do you know anything about this issue? Do you have any ideas about this issue?
Let's see. It it can swing. Depend on the child. Depend on
The
who
parents.
you're raising, and the tactics that things happen. I mean, the tactics that you use.
That's right.
There are some that will rebel. I'm one.
Me too. Me too.
I bucked
So am
every
I.
I
So was
bucked
I.
everything to my parents, but my parents wasn't actually, they wasn't as strict as they was with my siblings. Growing up, my siblings, if I had grew up in my siblings' times, I wouldn't be here talking to y'all.
Okay.
My parents was older. They was in their 50s, like 56 when I was 14. And their hands were lighter when I was growing up. I cursed them out the whole nine. My pops would have knocked my teeth down my throat had it been in my brother's them age. Because he literally did rougher tactics when they were growing up. So their mentality is probably a lot different than mine. Me, I'm a little freer because they didn't put force. Sometimes force is needed, or the fear of God. And if you, I think to me, be honest, you apply that early. If you do it early,
Yes.
what
Yeah.
happens is
That's
later
right.
on,
It's not as hard. You ain't gotta
no, you'll
apply
be
that
straight.
force of God.
Look, remember, if you have ever grew a plant, when you first start growing a plant, you can bend it all which way you want it, and it'll grow that way. Later on, when it becomes wood, you can't.
That's right.
You have to end up clipping little the limbs and pruning it in order for it to grow the way you want. So the way I look at life, put the fear of God in them early. That's probably 1 to 8. Beat them, do everything. Look, someone look. Excuse me for y'all who ain't with beating your kids. Look, beat them and everything. You literally get them in line because when they know you, they gonna know you do not play. That way, from 8 up, I start pulling things away because I know it's a little different. Especially when you get 10, 11, 12. If I didn't already trained you, I ain't got to worry about when you get outside of my circumference. But then it comes, I need to know your the people you deal with.
Yeah.
I want to be able to teach. I want everybody. If that little kid that I might not like, that I don't want you hanging around, I want you around because guess what? I want you around me because I'm gonna feed you what I know you ain't getting at
Yeah,
home,
I'm gonna have a
which is probably
habitat.
some responsibilities and some good traits. And that way, when I leave from out of y'all circumference, they gonna keep him in line or her in line. I done kind of played with the way I want. I only got one kid, and technically, this is like it's a tricky situation, but my kid. The thing about it though, yeah, it's tricky. Look, hey, but I know how I want this kid to be raised. I know how I have to put things in play and learn people that's around him. So it goes many different ways. My parents was a little light on me. I don't believe in being totally light. I believe, especially knowing what I'd done, I was wild.
And
Sometimes,
that's the whole thing in a nutshell. Mm.
sometimes you kind of need that head cracked, look, or light whooping. I ain't gonna say head crack, but light whooping.
Right.
Okay. Okay, what I'm going to say is, uh, I have no kids, so I'm not a very good variation of this. I don't like even the thought of, like I said, I don't like putting my hands on innocent things. I think there's other ways of torture that you can get back at kids without the old school mom remedy. But I believe in the old school mom remedy because that's what I lived in my lifetime. And I know it works because it had something to do with my inlineness. Anyways, I would like for you guys to, matter of fact, before I leave this screen, I would like to say children's exposure to violence, whether as victims or witnesses, is often associated with long-term physical, psychological, and emotional harm. Children exposed to violence are also at higher risk of engaging in criminal behavior in life. And I said that already. I agree because I was one of those kids. I switch the screen and I talk about the national problems we all face. And these are some of the national problems that we face inside America at this time. I found these online and these come straight off of Google, and these are what is on the top of Google's list. I agree with most of these, but I don't think these are, a lot of these are the actual problems in America. I don't think that these right here that they have on Google are, and I put these up here for a reason because I wanted everybody to see what Google say the top problems are in America. And this right here is the problem of the unrealization of the real problems. So what we're going to do right now is replace some of the problems, which they are. I'm not saying that these are not all problems within the system, but they are not the major problems that we face inside the system. Once again, I'm saying they all are problems, but they are not the major problems that we should attack. So I would like for me and my fellow constituents to go through these and talk about what is actually needed instead of what is pronounced as needed. Human rights in America, I'm going to say, is definitely a big problem inside America. Human rights is definitely a big ass problem, one of the biggest. The violence against the LGBT people inside the United States. I'm sorry, but we are all people inside the United States. I believe this, that we are all people. And no matter if you are L, G, B, T, A, C, B, D, E, whatever we are, we are all people. We all matter. This right here should not be on the second part of this list. We have many more issues bigger than that. Domestic violence in America. Domestic violence is a big problem. I disagree with beating on women, as I spoke on in this show. I will never and don't want to. I would rather leave the situation than have that. I may have had my drawbacks in the past, but as far as a person who enjoys beating on somebody lesser, that would never be me. So domestic violence in America is definitely a problem. I can agree that it's within the top 10 problems in America. I don't think people should be doing that, period. Gender inequality inside the United States, I believe that is a problem. I believe everybody should be equal. I don't know if you guys agree, but I believe that everybody should be equal. Man, woman, child, whether you're gay, whatever, however it goes, we should all be equal inside this world. We're all people. Gun violence is a major problem inside America. And wealth inequality is another problem. I think that leads to the gun violence and the crime. So, within what I just said, can I get Queen to give me something that should be on this board within this list? I already pulled out number 2. I pulled out.
You say that shouldn't be on there?
Yeah, no, that should be on this list. What do we need? What are we in need of, Queen?
Role models.
Role models. Okay, better role models. I can agree that the role models that we have, Megan Thee Stallion and all this shit, is trash.
At the end of the day, that's what's wrong. The children have nothing to look up to and no one to look up to. They
True.
used to have
True.
uh
True.
what it was a big brother, little or big sister and all of that back in the day.
Yeah.
They don't
They
have
don't
any of
have the
that
big brother,
anymore.
big
They
sister
don't have
programs no
anything.
more.
No,
No.
they don't have anything.
Okay, I
No.
got to research on that and see, because if
I
I
not,
think
don't
they
then
think
I think
from
they
what
somebody
I
still
Nah,
needs
I
to
heard,
do.
see
I
it.
I
haven't
don't
heard
think
about
they have them everywhere though.
right.
Yeah, not
I
everywhere. I know
haven't
it's
heard
not
I
everywhere.
haven't heard,
They
but it
might have
used to be
reduced them.
everywhere.
They need more
They
funding.
take away.
We're more
Well,
willing to send a spaceship to outer space than put
they
together
got
things
funding. They
here.
just
Or
choose
take care
not
of
to.
animals.
Well, I
They
love
have
animals,
funding.
dog. I love animals. I
Man, look,
mean,
hey,
I think we are all equal in this planet, so I think they should be taken care of too.
I
But I
ain't
think
saying don't
everything
take care of
within
them,
perspective.
but I wouldn't put an animal before I put a human. Just me personally.
I think an animal is a human.
In some fashion. But once again, animals actually live outside. For the most part, they got the fur
Okay.
that's their clothes.
Okay,
We
okay, all
is a
right.
little different.
I can go. But what I will say is, life is a life, and I'm starting to believe in life. A life is a life, and you know what? I've cried for more dogs dying than I have for people. I'm sorry.
That just means
I'm
you
sorry.
insensitive. It's something about your heart that made you look at humans as not being
Yeah, but they're
as
not loyal. They're not humans. Ain't dogs will die
Everybody
hold
for
is
on.
you,
not gonna
man.
But
be
does
loyal.
that
That
hold
don't
on?
mean
Just
that
because they're not loyal,
they
does
should be
that
looked
mean
at
that the
different.
humans shouldn't have, you know what I mean, the
I
equality?
get it. We should have equality. That's what I'm
It's
crying
just
for.
our 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 nature have been warped by things that we see, things that we hear, whether it's music or movies. Look, we'll look at a movie, and in this movie, we will even, and I done it myself, even parade when somebody gets shot and killed that you thought that they should have got shot and killed in a movie. You see what I'm saying? Because of whether it's unloyalty or whatever it is in your mind that we have been taught to look at as betrayal or something.
I get it.
You see what I'm saying?
I understand exactly what you're saying.
It's a lot of media play, and that doesn't mean that this person ain't a human.
I think
You
all
see what I'm
living
saying?
things on this planet, whether it's people, it's animal, I think
Yeah,
all of us should
but
have shelter, food,
no, I
and you know, I do.
look,
I truly do.
doghouse.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah, I truly do.
doghouse.
I think everything
Things
in
of the
existence has its own set in place. I think everything exists for a reason, and we should respect that. So you know, I'm sorry, and I agree with you, brother. Lives means so much, and it's so special. But I think that animal is just as special, and I think we are all special beings. Just because they can't talk and they can't physically go out and go get a
never
job,
said it.
I think there's no difference. All
No,
right, but regardless to that, Jinx, can I get you to tell me something that you believe should be on this list?
Well, I mean, it kind of goes with the healthcare because
Okay.
essentially it's actually rehabilitating people, helping people to heal and rebuild their lives. Like they call it the Department of Corrections, but we all know they ain't correcting shit,
It's
but
true.
they pockets.
It's true.
So, I mean, the way to stop the violence, the way to stop people from continuously getting locked up, the way to stop all of these kids from turning to the streets and the violence is to help these people feel happy and whole in they self so they don't go out in the world doing reckless, selfish, crazy shit.
Yes.
Mental health care, it's all part of health care.
Yes.
You know, it's
I
it
agree.
really it really boils down to the healthcare system.
You're talking about quality of life. That's something that you're talking about, and there's an actual thing written on it. It's called quality of life. And when
Yeah.
somebody's quality of life is equal to what they have envisioned, they're less likely to commit that crime. That's why when people graduate to a certain stature in their life, they're less likely to be that gangster person that they were before. Unless you're in the mob, like let's take any of these so-called rappers that lived a tragic life in their lifetime. Now that they're rappers, they're really, you know, everything is done behind the scenes, and they're not the
mind
person
frame
no
hasn't
more.
shifted.
Yeah, there you go. Regardless to that, now I would like to ask my brother Carlos. Carlos, I know you know something that should be on this list.
Most definitely. I
What
would
is
like to
most
change
needed?
number 3.
Huh?
But I would like to trade number 3, violence against LGBT people in the United States, to violence against black people in the or African Americans, whatever you want to call it, people in the
Okay.
United States.
I'm gonna make a statement on that, and I'm going to say, now look, I I don't know about the LGBT, but I know there were gay people probably here since Sodom and Gomorrah and before
Yeah.
that. All right, and we have had black people here through that time too. I will say that black people have been ridiculed, hanged, shot in mass numbers. They have been downgraded and made to do horrendous
Mass
things in mass
incarceration.
numbers. Um, I don't think that the fight is the same. I don't think that just because they were gay, they've been castrated worse than black people, and that is kind of foul for us in America to have that as number 3, number 2, number 10, number 20, number any fucking number on that list.
Over us.
It's not even over us. We could take other people and put them in the same goddamn boat. You see what I'm saying? There's other cultures that go in the same boat. The Mohegans, they were all killed and slaughtered. You know, we can go over and over and over down the whole fucking line. They don't belong to be there. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You can hate me. People can hate me. They can say whatever they want to say. But that's kind of fucked up for America to do that right there. And people to not pay attention to that.
Who wrote this now?
Huh?
I want to know who actually put this up here now.
Well, if you want to know, I can pull it up. It's right here online. It's not like we don't have the technology just to pull it up online.
They
Let's
need
see
to be
where we
reached
at.
out to.
Where we at? Because it was up here. It's right up here. Did I Oh, the biggest problems in the nation. Boom, right here. National list is anti-corruption. The 5 social problems. Here they go. Right here. Here it is. Right here. Let me pull up the screen. Let me pull up the share screen. Bam. All we got to do is do this right here, brother. And let me go to the main screen. I got it. Anyways, that messing up the system messing up has also messed up my screen. Let me go back to this screen and let me pull in I want the facts to be known and for what it says. So I'm gonna just pull it up right quick and then share screen it.
And this is brought to y'all by Seven Sun Studio.
Oh yeah. I got you. Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna pull. Yeah, that's right. I'm about to pull all this up, and we're about to find this out on time. As soon as I get my system working right. Come here. Let's go to secondary monitor. Bam. Oops. What is going on here? All right. Well, I don't know what is going on here, brother. But like I said, this computer, this stuff. There it is, right there. All right. This computer shit is fucking up, and it's been fucked up. Let's go here.
You gonna work with it?
Yeah, I'm straight. But I just want everybody to know and see what's going on here. Yeah, and it's not allowing me to. Anyways, regardless to that, I have those facts that I put up there come off of Google, and this is the bullshit. This is the bullshit. Anyways, let's get back to the script. Let me get back to my 4 screen.
Take out your share.
Huh?
Take out your share.
Oh, yeah, I got it. I don't know why it's not sharing the screen that I wanted to share. And that's the secondary screen. But anyways, regardless of that, I hate this shit. I hate computers. Anyways, this problem that we have in America is a problem that we all face. And it's a problem that we all have to acknowledge. We have to acknowledge that for some reason, our government and our nation is viewing certain problems as the issue that is not technically the actual issue. I'm
They
still
talking
trying to pull
about
it up.
they talking about some of the symptoms of the real disease. They ain't talking about the disease.
Well, yeah, they're talking about some of the symptoms, but yet and still they're adding in secondary systems that don't even
Yeah.
matter. Like they're adding in shit that we should not be putting at the top of our list. And that was my main point to prove about this is that we as Americans are not focused on the right issues. And that's why we keep coming across these issues. That's why we keep facing these issues in America. It's because we're not focusing on the right issues. They're blaming gun violence, but they're not blaming the NRA for selling these guns. They're not blaming the government for making these guns accessible for
They're
all
not going to.
Americans. Huh?
They're
So,
not going to.
yeah, I get it because it's a
They're
money
not. Why,
scheme.
why, exactly. Why would they? It's with the same thing that goes down. It deals with the
Yeah,
drugs. It
but
deals with the guns.
we are
But
the
they
people.
already. It doesn't matter.
It
They
does
know
matter.
they can.
That
It
matters.
Now, don't get me wrong. It does matter, but it's not going to matter to them because they're benefiting from it. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but
They
nobody has
know
put their foot
can.
down. You have
They
people standing up for the NRA,
who the hell
hoping that
gonna
it
put it up?
doesn't leave and shit like that.
Who doing that?
Huh?
Who's standing up for the NRA?
There's millions of Americans. There's
Oh,
tons and tons of gun right voters.
I know it is because they don't want it to go because it's going to benefit them.
That's true. But at the same time, we are the people. And if we stop indulging in that shit, guess what? They get no pay. It's dead in the water.
Okay. When we gonna start doing that?
Queen, let me tell you something.
When
Let
we
me tell
gonna
you a
start
story.
doing it though?
Let
When
me
they
tell you
gonna
a
start
story.
doing
Let me
it
tell you a story right quick. I was in Yardsville, New Jersey, right? I was locked up in Yardsville, New Jersey. I did about 3.5, almost 4 years in Yardsville, New Jersey. And in my stay in Yardsville, New Jersey, they tried to shut down cigarettes. They tried to get us to stop smoking inside the prison. Do you know that at one point in time, it was a point where the old dudes that was in prison would come and they told everybody not to go to commissary and would dare you to go to commissary. If your fuck ass went to commissary, you was fucked up. Everybody. They stopped the whole shit. Nobody went to commissary. Nobody bought shit. And you know what happened? They ain't let them cigarettes go. They kept that shit on the fucking market. You got to understand how much power you have as a consumer.
Unity.
Once you understand your power as a consumer, then you can shut their pocket down. That shit don't even fucking matter. They want to raise gas prices through the roof? Fuck it. Yo, everybody really just needs to chill for a second. Don't go outside. Don't do shit.
Boycott is one of the
You know what I'm
biggest
saying?
things
That's
that
what I'm
you will ever
saying.
see. We done seen it done, but it's the mentality of the people. When Martin Luther King them done it with the boy bus caught in 1955. But guess what? It was the mentality of the people. You have to really, in order, you can change the whole system, and I'm in agreement
The
with.
whole fucking system could crash.
But it takes unity
But
that this
it takes
nation
it
is
takes
not
unity. It takes
capable
the
of
mentality
having
of the
right now
people.
They are
because we've
capable.
allowed
They choose
subdivision
not to.
in so many different ways.
They are
Well, I'm gonna give you
capable.
one. I'm gonna
At
give you a
any
thing.
given day, we are capable of this shit. They choose not to.
If you got enough love, if you can figure out, get people to be willing to feed people, because most of the time, especially to the prison part, we went on, I forgot what it was, something happened, and we was doing the same thing. Everybody said, look, do not eat. Oh, they brought them little lunch trays, I mean the little lunch boxes around there, and they was like, look, we tired of eating them. They ain't feeding us one hot meal every so many days. So everybody was supposed to not eat. And there was one guy, he ended up eating, took the tray. But if you can't, or you are not willing to feed the next person while we are going through this, it doesn't work. The community got to be community in order to make this thing work.
They don't
If
know
I
nothing
got
about that
some,
no more. Everybody sit
I'm
back
just
here and
putting
talk a good
making a
game. Oh,
statement
I
in
know.
order to get there.
But
That's what
that's
you
the
got to do.
thing. And I agree 100%. When I'm saying they don't care, because at the end of the day, they know what they're doing, and they know ain't nobody gonna take a stand on it. They already know it. That's why they're getting away with it. They already know it. And they make movies and they show you exactly what they're doing. And guess what? Nobody does nothing.
Well, we have to do something as Americans. We
Yeah,
have
we
to do
do.
something. And as I said, I finally got it to pull up, as you see on this Google screen right here. And you see where it comes from, social
Wikipedia.
issues. Huh?
Wikipedia.
Yeah, it came from Wikipedia. I took it right off the top of the board for the social issues in America, and this is what our focus is on inside America. If I go to the major problems affecting society today, you see I come here and it's food, gender equality, health, and human rights, but there's 22 more rows, and within them 22 more rows, we find these topics right here. You see what I'm saying?
I know what. Hold on, U.S. Department of State is where it came from.
Yeah. All like I said, all I do is Google these, and I ask questions inside Google, and then I find the answers, and that's the answer that I pulled up. So when I pulled this screen up right here, and that was up there, that's exactly where it came from.
It was the U.S. Department of State.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yet and still, once again, Queen, Jinx, we as a society have to understand the powers that we have inside us, and we can do this at any time, any day, any hour. The only thing that they could do is called martial law, and that has to be handed down from the president. That's the only thing that they can really do to affect people and force people, and that's with military force.
And they had to put every city and every state, every country, everywhere.
They would have to, but we don't have the military force for that.
Nope. Not for
So
every
therefore,
county.
back in our boat we go, as long as we understand our power as people, as a nation. When we get tired of it enough and want it to stop, and we're tired of lying politicians, and we're tired of rising taxes, and we're tired of paying tax after tax. You know, we get a paycheck from our job that is taxed. Not only is it taxed FICA, all these other things, but yet still, when we go to the grocery store, we're retaxed. We're taxed on taxed on taxed on taxed. That's all it is. It's tax.
And regardless, you paying tax.
Look, and then you got to turn around and pay taxes. Look.
On the money that you have, and then the bank would take taxes from you for holding money inside the bank. So what the fuck is going on here?
Now, this is the thing. What was it? Because I had it too. Give me a minute. I had a brain.
Okay. That's fine. At this time, I would like to take a commercial break, and when we come back, Carlos, I'll let you go ahead and spill out.
Hi, Love Guru. Could you please read me my fortune?
No. Let me summon love. As we cater to love in the month of February, I chose to take this minute to use my celestial powers and read your fortune. So I look over my cards. Your first card, you will find the man of your dreams. He will be a sheik, dressed as a champion. Your second card, this sheik will sweep you off your feet. He will have you begging for more. Your third card, announcing your third card, I will say, you will have the time of your dreams. It'll be everything that you ever dreamed of. Your fourth card, your night will be exquisite, and you'll go home and get ready to bed this man in bed. Your fifth card, you will have the moment of climax when you notice that he needs extendo.
He's got the little pinky. And now you cannot get your climax. Your fortune is red. You will need...
All right, Carlos, brother. Let me get that.
The reason why they keep us separated. Because if you ever get the people to see past Republican, Democrat, all these different titles, what happens, you will get we the people. And they will have to adhere to the people. But because they keep everybody fooled, one of my favorite things to look at, when you see Congress, what do you see? Break the word down.
I want to hear you. Come on, let me get it.
Con and gress. Gress means to move or to move forward. When you think about progress, that means to progress, to move forward. Pro, you're going forward. Digress, die means to move backwards. But con and gress, what does con mean?
I'm gonna
Trick.
con your ass out everything.
Look, look, trick. Is trick move. And this is the thing. These people go and shake hands, kick it together, do everything, eat together. The kids probably go to school together, but in front of us, they show each other bickering and fighting in front of everybody. But then they go and shake hands, make deals, and come to a solution on our behalf. All to keep the people apart. One of the biggest tricks I've ever seen in my life. And we sit up here, people in America, and we Republican, Democrat, Independent, look, mad at each other. We fussing and fighting against each other. When it's them that we ought to be fussing and fighting with.
True. So
Everybody ought to
true.
be on the lawn up there talking about, look, we about to. But because we can't see past their tricks, this is where we at.
Like I said
Facts.
earlier, that's why they keep us divided, because they know if we unite, we gonna be we the
They
people.
scared.
That's why they
And
dumbing down these children, so that in generations to come, it'll be that much easier to control us. It'll be that much easier to keep us. They create more and more divide every turn we take.
every time.
That's true. That is absolutely true. And they have divided us and separated for a reason. And that's a part of the Art of War book, or any book that describes war and how to win the war.
Divide and conquer.
That's right. Divide the people. Once you divide the people, you got small numbers to fight. You no longer have a big mass. So 18 people can now run those little sectors, because guess what? You got to think, how many people are on Congress?
Probably like 200,
Yeah,
just
yep,
say
that's right.
500
Yep,
at the most.
that's correct. So you got to think, those are the people that run the country. They run the billions and billions of people within the country.
It ain't even them, to be honest.
Yeah,
They
it
come.
ain't them. It goes so
It's
much bigger.
Well, we're not
hold on.
going
It's
to
another little group of
yeah.
people. Look, I hate it. Tiny hat folks.
That's smaller.
Look.
I get it. I get it.
Look.
But look, those right there, we're gonna steer around those right there, and we're gonna go with the look of the outlook of what you're supposed to see. Okay.
All I'm telling you, there's a group of people. I heard a white guy say it, and this was not too long ago. He said, "Think about the people that you can't say their names,
Yep, that's right.
and you'll realize who run your country."
Well, I mean, Hillary Clinton
And I
claimed
was
she was
like,
one of
"Damn,
them, and they kicked her out.
who?"
Hillary Clinton claimed she was one of them, and the
No.
collegiate, yeah, she
Yeah, but she
said
won.
she was one.
Yeah, but she won.
I understand she ain't no more, but at one point in time she could have been.
Look, there's a group of little folks. I'm trying to tell you.
I
Look,
get
she
it.
ain't part of it. She ain't part of that group. Not the group I'm talking
I
about.
got
Look,
yeah. You talk about the Munchkin people, the lollipop
we-
kids, the lollipop.
yeah. Look, she ain't part of that group. Look, that little group of people run this country. If you can, and look, this goes for white, black, anybody else who speaks about these folks' name, you get canceled, you get all types of stuff.
Okay, well,
There's
like I said,
power.
I don't know them people, bruh, and I'm not trying to do conspiracy theories right now. So I know
Look,
that the ones that they say I'm here is the United States Congress, and I know that they
Okay.
consist of not too many independents. I know they consist of Democrats and Republicans. Right?
Yes.
I think we can all agree that they're a very small part of the food chain.
Absolutely. Well, if you know anything about anything, and if you know anything about anything else, you'll know that the president is just the coin. He's a shiny gold coin that stands in front of you.
He ain't
Regardless.
even shining no more. Come on now.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he
Not
is.
the one.
Yeah, he is. He's still shiny, man. The presidency is still one of the highest accolades you can have inside this country. It is still, and I still believe that the person who is president, if people vote them as president, that's your fault.
They got some power.
Yeah, that's your fault for voting them as president, but they do have some power.
Some power.
Believe that. All right. But yet and still, they are the person that they put in front so they can do the dance and they can puppeteer in front of everybody else. And
You might have had only one in history that bucked the plan.
yeah, you know what? I am for that person for some strange reason. I like that person. I like them. But anyways, regardless, we're not going to get into that. I'd like to thank you guys for showing up tonight. Thank you guys for spending this time with me. I'm so glad to be out the hospital. I'm so glad to be healthy, or not 100% yet, but be getting there. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you're 100%.
Huh?
You're 100%.
Oh,
You're 100%.
yeah, mentally.
It
Yo,
start
listen,
it start mentally
I'm
before
ready
it
to
start
crash through
anyway.
that wall again. But technically, I know that walking pneumonia and what it does to your lungs. I know that the doctor told me it's going to be about 30 days before I can actually get back to running and things like that again. Lo and behold, car accident, and yeah, there's a whole big backstory to me. But I'm
Save that for
glad.
next episode.
Yeah, I'm glad to at least be medically able to breathe again and be able to think that I will be here tomorrow. So that part is a good part, and I'm glad to see our faces. Queen, you're beautiful as ever. Jinx, beautiful as
Glad you're
ever.
back.
Thank you for your smiling faces. Carlos, checking up on me in the hospital all the time. I thank y'all so much, and I thank y'all for holding the show down last week. I heard and I seen.
Tanya, he loved to stir the pot and dip. Don't worry about that.
Yeah,
girl.
my sick ass was still on the phone watching in the bed like.
We saw you. We saw you. The comment.
But yeah, I love y'all and thank y'all for showing up tonight. And I hope you guys enjoyed tonight. I hope we got a couple things off our chest. We're gonna get back into this conversation. I really like this conversation. We're gonna bring a couple more youngsters in here, and I like how we intro. How I love how the intro of the show went. I don't know how you guys felt about that, but I really like that right there. That was kind of dope. And yeah, we're just gonna keep bringing it. We're gonna keep bringing it more and more. We're gonna get more and more serious. And we're gonna bring more and more facts up here and post it in front of people's face, and we're gonna talk about this bullshit that we live through every single day. And I'm gonna remind us every single time that we as the people have the power to change this shit. I'm ready.
That's what we're here for.
I'm ready. All people have to do is say we want a change, and I'm here. I'm already trying to make it. Carlos, I know you with me. I see you online, brother. We trying to make this fucking change happen. So all we need is for y'all to join in, and let's get this shit happening for the future, for your children, all of that. Let's make it happen. Better schools. We gonna require this shit. We gonna demand this shit. Better schools, better living, people on equal plane, getting paid the same shit. I don't give a fuck if they gotta take from millionaires' backs, and really, yo, I'm trying to be one of those niggas. But yet still, I'm trying to change the world. So I'm getting ready to give back. Matter of fact, I give back even now. So that's what we're doing. All right. Thank you guys. And yeah, we in here, man. We in here.
Gag-Order.
That's right. We here.